All right, guys, here we go. Fight Banana's podcast. My main man, J Train, Justin Gonzales. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. It's just starting my day off, having some coffee, letting my dog out.
There you go.
Good, man. What a better way to start the day than to be here with you guys. So thanks for having me.
Man. We appreciate your time. You said great things there. You said coffee, dog. Life's good.
Dude, life is good, brother. Life is good. It's exciting, man. Like we said earlier, man, it's an exciting time for me right now. So
right.
Man.
Let's jump right into it. Dude, 29 years young, 11-0, featherweight, a hot division. You just won the LFA Championship, so let's hit there. How does it feel to be LFA Championship? They are hot. They came back through this pandemic. They are sending people to the UFC big time. So how do you feel winning that belt?
It was I feel great. I feel great, man. It's a big deal. Just man, I've been in this game for a long time and things are starting to happen for me. So how else do you put it, man? I feel on top of the world, brother. I feel great. It's man, I had the Sparta belt. I have the LFA belt. I'm undefeated. It's how else do I put it, brother? I feel great. I'm just so blessed to be in the spot that I am and just ready for what's next, brother. It's about, things are happening for me. So I'm so pumped, man. So blessed. It's hard to explain, man. It's hard to put what I'm feeling into words.
No, I love that. We say it all the time here on Fight Bananas. We're almost 300 episodes in, and I always say, as a kid, I always watched that Indiana Jones movie, The Temple of Doom, that big ball, that boulder going downhill. Yeah. It's hard to stop. Like when people have good momentum in life, like it's just hard to stop. And I feel that way with you. You have great momentum, huge buzz around your name. How do you feel? Do you think that win at LFA now catapults you to the UFC?
It should. It's hard, man. I'm a realist. I try to figure things as I hope for the best, but plan for the worst type of situation. Sure. And going through this journey of knocking people out, winning each fight is this one should do it. This one should do it. You're kind of you're not sure what's going to happen, but this is a big deal. So it really should put me where I want to be. I feel like I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready for whoever steps in front of me, man. I'm ready to take on the world. But if they don't call, they don't call. I'm not gonna dread on. I'm gonna keep living my life. And there's a lot out there. So the world is mine for the taking. So I'm just waiting for it. I'm just ready, whatever happens, man. That's life. You gotta just take it your way. So UFC, Bellator, PFL, ONE. What's up, guys? I'm ready, man. Give me the best you got.
One thing you said also in the first answer is you mentioned Spartan Combat League.
Yeah.
Like how did you get hooked up with them? It seems like you have a great relationship. I saw a lot of amateur wins with them. And then I think you started off 8-0 with them. I watched a lot of your fights. I watched that Bruno fight. The crowd was big. The crowd was hot. I thought it was cool. It looked like it had a boxing ring and also a cage as well. So how did you get hooked up with the Spartan League?
In Colorado, Sparta Combat League is a huge promotion, man. They're traveling. They're going nationwide. So, I started fighting in, I believe it was September 2012. Wow. And I guess let's reel it back. One of my first fights, I was just training, just wanted to do something different than just wrestling. So my coaches at Top Notch were just like, I started training, and by the end of summer, they were like, man, you're really good at this. Like, you should possibly take a fight. And I just wanted to do it, just get one fight. So one of the big promotions at the time was Sparta. So we were like, okay, cool, let's do it. And ever since my first fight, man, I just loved the game. I loved what I was doing. And it was just something different, a different challenge for me. So my coaches just signed me up, and they're like, yo, let's see what you got. Let's see what this is all about, man. and I never looked back. So I was a young kid, like 19, 20 at the time, still wrestling in college at UNC. So it was a whole different thing for me. It was cool. Like, I got paid, which as a college kid making a couple $100 for ticket sales, I was like, oh, hell yeah, man.
That's
cool.
everything. That's everything.
So, it was a whole different thing. And at the time, like a couple $100 really was a huge difference maker for me. So I just never looked back. And me and Jeff Cisneros had a great relationship. Just took care of me, helped me out, found me some sponsors. And just overall, we were friends, instead of just a promoter fighter. So
right.
A lot of my fights were with Sparta. And it was just such a great relationship that I never looked back. I never had to. And eventually we got to the point where, I don't know, I'm sitting here undefeated, just trying to get to the next level. So they were just feeding me the best fighters they could get me, And at one point we just ran out of fighters. People didn't want to fight me anymore, that's how it went. So, and now here I am, man. It's such a crazy world, man. It's from not even wanting to fight and now having no intentions of going pro to now being 11-0, Sparta champ, LFA champ, been on the Contender series.
Right.
It's exciting, man. It's just such a fun journey, man. You never know what life's going to throw you,
Love it. I do know. I know that's absolutely true. Contender series was just on last night. I'm a huge fan of the show. The first time they were at the Apex, I think 2 years ago, I was there live. Yeah, we had some friends out there, flew out there to the Apex when people were allowed to watch mixed martial arts events back in the day. But how cool, man. I love the show. It's a great show. To me, it's like I talked to Laura Senko about it. It's like literally the Super Bowl and the NFL draft kind of wrapped up in one show. It's everything for you guys. You're fighting in front of Dana for the first time, trying to get a contract. It's the most important fight, like a Super Bowl or UFC 252, the trilogy, Stipe and DC. So it's just so much. How was your experience on the Contender?
It was great, dude. It was great. It's hard to explain. Just so professional. So many people are there taking care of everything you need, whether it's travel, whether it's food, just hospitality, whether I need to go to the Performance Institute to cut some weight, whatever it is, there's somebody in charge of it. So that was really cool. Made it really easy for me. Really different fighting with only like 30, 40 people in the entire building.
Right.
You're used to walking out in this big venue where people are just screaming, people are drunk, just like the atmosphere is just such an exciting thing. And this was just more calm, more, I'm here on business. It's do this. But such a different experience. But it was great, man. Just, knowing what it means was one thing. And having my family there was a whole other just good opponent, he was on a killing spree right there for a while. Zach Zane was I think he was on like a 9-fight win streak. I think like 8 of his wins were by KO. So I was like, oh shit, dude, let's do this, man. This guy's coming for me. So such an experience, something I'll never forget, man. It's it'll be with me till I die,
That's incredible. Another thing I kind of looked up on you is how, you haven't felt defeat, amateur or pro. And I think Justin Gaethje, he went to Rogan and he talked about how vital, how important those losses were for him. He had 2 in a row. I think it was Dustin and Eddie, maybe. I'm not too sure. Yeah. So he had 2 losses and it was like a big deal. And then like all of a sudden it was kind of like a trendy thing was like, oh, it's good to lose. And then you figure stuff out. I'm like, guys, I understand you want to keep learning and getting better, but ask Khabib Nurmagomedov, ask Jose when he was on his 9-year run. You don't want to lose. Like you don't want to lose in MMA. How does it feel that you've never felt defeat? I always feel, to me, you have a little slight advantage almost every fight you have, because usually when you do fight someone, they do have a loss. They felt it. They know how to lose. They know when to tap or give up or get knocked out. You don't have that feeling yet. Do you think there's a slight advantage for you?
It's Man, it's such a weird. It's interesting that you ask. It's a lot of people kind of put it on both spectrums. Put it on, it is an advantage because I haven't tasted defeat. So, obviously, your goal is to win every fight you can. But at the same time, it's like, it only takes one punch. It takes one small mistake can cost you the fight.
Right.
And it's hard, man. It's such an interesting I feel like I train with killers. I lose a lot of times in practice. I'm trying to grow as a fighter, So, and the moment I stop doing that is when somebody's going to catch me. If you're not growing, somebody's passing you. So I've lost a million times in practice, it's and because of that is why I have the success I do. Some people are too prideful to go out there and try or to do something different.
Right.
And, it's just, this game is fun for me. So I got to keep it fun. Whenever it stops being fun is probably whenever I'm going to start looking to end my career. And I'm even close to that. So it's like, it's just so exciting, and at some point I might lose, man. It's just part of the game, I'm going out there and people are training, people are trying to figure me out. So, I don't know if it gives me an advantage or if it doesn't. It's one of those things, man. It's like, once you taste defeat, I think you do grow from it. There's been many times in my life where I lost in the high school state championships. I beat this guy. He's a good friend of mine, actually. I beat him like 4 or 5 times that year, dominated him. And, he's not a dummy. He started figuring me out. Final seconds of the finals, caught me in a bullshit move. I lost. But it catapulted me. It made me grow. It made me just learn and just change the game for me. I took that loss and lit a fire in my ass, and it changed the game for me, So at some point, yeah, sure, losses might happen, and I think when it does, it's going to catapult me further in my career. But at the same time, this is my job, man. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm doing it well. So until that happens, man, just keep them coming,
Love it. Love it. I can't wait for your future, my man. I would love to talk to you about the featherweight division in the UFC. We had the Volkanovski-Holloway fight. To me, the fighter of the year so far, 2020, has been Calvin Kattar. The short elbow to Stevens, and then the main event win at Fight Island versus Ige. Are these guys that you're watching and you hope to one day share that octagon with, or are you still kind of just doing you, and then when it happens, it happens?
Man, you'd have to be an idiot to say I'm not aware of who these guys are.
Right.
I know who Kattar is, dude. He's on a streak. He is on a roll. And that's somebody who I'm like, it'd be an honor to share the cage with him. That's part of this game. We're modern day gladiators. It's whether you're in there getting beat up or whether you're beating somebody up, man, it's a big deal. It's a really honorable thing to share the cage with another mixed martial artist who committed their life to this,
Right. Yep.
And if those guys are the best in the world, man, that's who I want to be sharing the cage with, man. That's who I want to, the whole thing. You want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And that's part of competition, man. That's what I thrive off of.
Don't pull that Ric Flair out on us now, man. Don't pull it out.
I want the best I can get, man. I'm challenging myself, and that's part of the game. It's just, man, I feel like I've got the hype behind me. I feel like I got the skill set to be the best in the world. And that's my goal. I want to be the best to ever do it. Ever. Not just the best in the featherweight, the best in the entire world, the best in the game, to ever do it. And
I love it.
If it's not your goal, what are you doing in this game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. I have big goals, man. And I've busted my ass for years, man. I've been wrestling since I was 8 years old. I just, it's time. It's time, man. It's my time. I'm ready for it all, man. Whoever it is, whether you put, who's the Bellator champ? Pitbull right now?
Yeah.
Whether it's Calvin Kattar, whether it's Volkanovski, man, those are the guys I want, bro.
Sergio Pettis and Bellator?
Yeah. It doesn't matter, man.
That'd be a good one.
Best I can find, man. And
love it.
Just put me in there and the better man will walk out with his hand raised. Plain and simple.
Love it, love it. You know, with you throwing out that Ric Flair, I'm an old school wrestling guy, so like I still listen to Stone Cold and his podcast, and he always says like, if you're not in this business to be the champ, get the hell out. Like, what are you doing? Like, so I love that. I love that you said that. To me, also another fun question that's always out there is talking about featherweights. To me, there's a great argument or debate. There's Aldo, there's Max Holloway, who defeated Aldo twice, and then there's a little sneaky Connor who kind of, you know, defeated Aldo, had a brilliant run to the top, but maybe not as much fights as a featherweight. In your eyes, or maybe I'm missing someone else, who's the greatest featherweight of all time?
J-Train. I'm the greatest.
There you go,
man.
You knew the answer already.
You know, I like people ask who's your favorite fighter. I'm my favorite fighter, man. And if you're not your favorite fighter, then you got some issues. But I've been following the game for a while, man. That's such an interesting. There's a lot of different things to debate about, you know. So in my eyes, I'm the best featherweight. I'm the best. I'm the best in the game, you know.
Right.
But, you know, until I get those accolades and get those belts under my name, you know, sure, we can argue whether it's between Aldo, Holloway, McGregor. You know, Aldo was on a streak, man. He didn't lose for like 9 years or something. Like
it was an incredible run, man. Incredible.
But Holloway beat him not once, he beat him twice.
Twice.
You know, but then McGregor beat Aldo or Holloway. You know,
cool.
So it's like
McGregor beat Holloway and Aldo.
And then you know, there's Volkanovski in the mix, who you know, he beat Holloway twice. That's the cool thing about the game, is that there's so many different aspects. Anything can happen, with whether it's the whole reason why the game was made, wrestler versus boxer, and, Muay Thai versus BJJ. That's what's the best style, and it's mixed martial arts. You got to have it all. So no one style that's better than the other, but it's how you use it and how you put it together. So, man, I'm just gonna leave the answer as J-Train's the best featherweight of all time.
There you go. I'm with you on that. The GOAT of all time, Justin Gonzales. I'm with you on that. And I love how you nailed it. You can't. I love Matt Hughes. I'm a Matt Hughes old school welterweight guy.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think Matt Hughes in 2020 goes on this run that he does. It's just you have to be full rounded.
The game's evolving.
Right.
And I'm a huge Matt Hughes fan. And, you know, Matt Hughes fights in this era. I'm sure he'll be dominant, but maybe he wouldn't have had the reign that he did.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe he would have, because he's just a tough. He breaks people. He keeps going. He keeps pushing forward. It's such an interesting, and you know, that's what makes the game fun. Is
absolutely
all the different equations that you can throw into the mix.
Absolutely. We're talking to Justin Gonzales, guy. Check him out on Instagram, JTrain_1991. I assume it's the year he was born. Yep. My man, I got 10 fun questions for you. It's a way that the Fight Bananas community can kind of learn a little bit about you a little bit more. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Outside of MMA, what's your favorite activity?
Ooh, depends. It really depends on the season. I love going snowboarding, man. Me and my boy Ben Lugo, he's fighting actually August 21st for LFA against Nathan Levy. We go and terrorize the mountain, man. We love to go snowboarding. Like right now, I just went camping. We went out to the lake. It was amazing, man. I love jet skiing, wakeboarding. It depends, man. I love going paintballing. Just depends on the season, man. If it's winter, I love going snowboarding. If it's summer, I love hitting the lake. I love going camping, shooting. It's hard to say. I'm a man of many traits, man. I like doing a lot of different things.
All those things are great. You nailed it. All those things are perfect. What song do you know every single word to?
Well, my walkout song is Smile Back by Mac Miller. You know, I feel like it's just the hype, the lead up to the big drop. Right. Lyrics, it really speaks about me personally. Is like, you know, at first you wouldn't fuck with me, and now I'm the man that you want to be. So it's like, up, you know.
Love it. Who is your hero?
Oh man, that's a tough one. God is always a big one. Jesus Christ. My parents, my coaches. There's a lot of people, man. My little brother is really inspirational to me. You know, he lives a little bit different lifestyle, and he really helps me a lot whenever I got questions. I question like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? What's next for me? You know, he's somebody I can always go to and talk to. So, Vinny, thank you. Love you very much, man. Thank you guys.
That's awesome you said that. It's funny. I'm going to interrupt my 10 question things. I don't think I've done this yet. It's funny on Instagram, right? I talk to a lot of fighters, follow a lot of fighters, and if other fighters do it, there's no shade at all. But a lot of times, fighters' Instagram is 8 pictures in a row, muscles up, selfie, a fight picture. I check your Instagram out, man. It is 90% family. It's piñatas. It's camping. I see you pictures with tons of kids. Like I was like, dope, man. I'm like, I can really relate to Justin. You know what I mean? I'm a family guy. I got 4 kids of my own. It's probably too many, but I loved your IG, man. I really love the Instagram.
Thanks, brother. You know, man, I'm pretty open book. You know, some people like they have their Instagram set up as their fight promotion,
right?
But, you know, people want to see J-Train. People want to see Justin. So right. I got to mix the two. And I'm very close with my family. Like last night, my niece spent the night with me, man. We had some snacks, had some candy, movies. We watched Frozen 2. I think we watched it twice. Because
can't go wrong with Frozen 2.
And, she woke me up and said, "You didn't even watch it." I'm like, okay, fine. All right, we'll watch it again. So very close to my family, man. The little guys think, whether it's at the gym, whether it's my nieces and nephews, just the little guys like me, and I like them, man. It's fun for me. So
that's awesome, bro.
That's just how I live my life, man.
Love it, love it. We keep it rolling. Who's your favorite combat sports athlete ever?
My favorite ever, J-Train, dude. I told you.
There you go. Answer easy.
I guess besides myself, you know, I'm a huge fan of Anderson Silva. I think he was he was before his time whenever he won that little terror there. Just such a unique striking style, and he had it all. You know, I was a huge fan of Anderson Silva.
Yeah, he kind of, it's so funny now in 2020. He reminds me so much, or Izzy reminds me so much of Anderson. And I kind of thought it was really funny. I remember because I was such a diehard fan and all that stuff back in the day. Anderson had a couple fights in a row that Dana wasn't happy with. Some people thought it was a little bit boring. And I thought how ironic that Izzy just had one with Yoel Romero that a lot of people were disappointed with. He's a puzzle. And if you nail the puzzle, it's a beautiful thing. It's fun. But if you don't nail it and it's a hard thing to get a hold of, it's misery. So I think that's what Izzy and Anderson kind of is like.
It's I think the way you said it is perfect. They're a puzzle, and you have to figure out the puzzle. And technically, you only have a matter of a couple months, and then whenever you're in the fight, whether it's 3-5s, 5-5s, you have to figure it out. And it's a hard thing to do, you know. I think Izzy is he fights super similar to Anderson.
Yeah.
People are still trying to figure it out. And then you come back to the Yoel fight. It's like Yoel had the good game plan. You know, Adesanya is a counter striker, and he humiliates people with that. So you don't give him anything to counter strike off of. How does he fight? You know, he's not paced. So it sucks, man. You know, as a fighter, you understand why that fight is so boring, and you get like, okay, how are they going to do this? But at the same time, like as a fan, you're like, dude, that was
thrill, you know.
Like I want to see something, you know.
And with Yoel, I felt he had a couple rounds of that even early, and maybe even won that 1 or 2 at the beginning. I feel, and then he had Izzy kind of out of the loop, like kind of in a weird state. I thought if Yoel pushed the gas in rounds 4 or 5, he could have had something or maybe win a decision, but he never did, which was off. Like it was just like he never kind of took it to the next level.
And such a different fight from both those guys.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I had this question almost all the time, and now they're really fighting November 28th. But in their prime, Mike Tyson or Roy Jones Jr.?
Ooh, man, it's I'm super into this fight, and whenever I saw they were fighting, I was like, dude, I want to watch this, man. This is man, Mike Tyson's just a killer, man. So much power. He'll put you out with one shot.
Right.
And Roy Jones could too, but he moves so good, and it's like he's slick. He baits you. Oh man, I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of both of those guys. I don't even want to.
Love it.
I can't do it, man. Just their fighting styles. I love it. So I'm definitely going to tune in. I think it just got postponed.
Yeah, November 28th now.
November 28th, yeah.
Yep.
In their prime, dude, that's a super fight. It's like it's almost like God's gift to the world is like, here you go. You know?
It doesn't happen in their prime. You know what I mean? Because they're just, especially with the weight class, and there's just no reason for it. And that's why it's so incredible that they're fighting now. It's I cannot wait. I'm with you. Vacation spot, tropical or cold weather?
Tropical is down. I love going to the ocean. I love trying to surf, wakeboard, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're actually we're supposed to go to Glenwood this weekend, but there's a big fire up there, so not sure if that's gonna happen. It's pretty crazy, but you know, like I said, I like to snowboard, so I'll go up there for a day or two, go snowboard, terrorize the mountain. But if I'm vacation, man, I'll go get some fruity drinks, go sit by the beach, put my toes in the water, you know.
Nothing better, my man. What's your favorite dessert?
You know, weird thing. I'm not super big into cake. Too sweet. I don't like the frosting. Not my thing. I'm into cheesecake. I really like.
Oh yeah.
I like pie. I like you know, an old lady who I'm pretty good friends with. Used to work with. She used to make me a pecan pie. She was just a sweetheart. So. Just old typical Western lady, you know.
Yeah.
As you picture in the movie, she said, "Oh, honey, I'm gonna make you a pecan pie," and I'm like, "No, you don't have to do that." And she's like, "I'm doing it. Congrats on the new house or whatever." And she'd always make me pecan pie, and her pecan pie was amazing, man. So I'd say cheesecake or pie is probably my go-to. I like ice cream, you know. I like drumsticks. Drumsticks are awesome.
Love it, man. I love this. Two more for you. One of the last ones, dinner with two guests, dead or alive?
Dinner with two guests. Wow. That's a good one, you know. You know, this kind of changes because our president changes all the time, and you know, people like Trump or whether they don't. I would always like to sit down and have a nice conversation with the president.
Right.
Past or present. I just feel like that's such a powerful human being. You know?
They got to know secrets we don't, man. They got to. They got to.
You know, there's questions. Like, life is just so crazy, you know. If I could sit down with God and just ask him, like, yo, I have so many questions. Why did you do this? Why did you put me through this?
Right.
Or why did you take somebody so early in our life? You know, there's a lot of different, however you break it down. I'm sure other people are like, yo, if I could sit down with God, I'd ask him something like, what's the winning lotto numbers? Or, you know, whatever. But, man, just some really powerful people. Martin Luther King would be a cool one. You know, he was such a big inspiration, and
for sure,
his time, his movement, what he did for the world. There's a lot, man. I can go into this for a while, you know, without going too deep.
It was funny. We had Sergio Pettis on last week, and I asked him the same thing, and his was Jesus and Bob Marley. I was like,
see, Bob Marley, like, dude, influencer of the world. Like, he didn't have to do it how we're doing it. He did it without violence. He did it with love. He did it with music, and just such an influencer, man. Just his music can change the world.
It did. Absolutely. As we're talking to Justin J. Train Gonzales, LFA Featherweight Champion. Last question for you, my man. Appreciate your time. Love your time. What has been so far in your career your favorite locker room story?
My favorite locker room story. Okay. So back to bringing my brother in the picture.
There we go.
My brother, Vinny Headlock, he used to fight as well. We're both amateurs, and we were fighting for Sparta. I want to say it was the Bro Show. Maybe they had us on because of that. Maybe not. Whatever. we're sitting back in the locker room, and you know, my dad's normally not back there with us. You know, we try to I'm like, hey guys, it's time for us to focus in. So I want just me and my people. But this time he was back in the locker room with us, and we're hanging out, and my dad is just, he can't handle it. He's pacing, he's and he's just moving, and he's so nervous. And I'm like, I tell my coach, and I'm telling Vinny, I'm like, hey dude, get this guy out of here, man. Like, he's making me nervous. He's messing with me. So it was just funny. I told my coach, Mike Allers, I'm like, dude, he can't be back here if he's going to be like this, man. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it was so funny because I literally watched him for 5 minutes. I'm sitting away. I'm like, hey, dude, leave me alone for a little bit. I'm in the corner and I'm watching him. He goes from one corner of the building to the next, sits down, stands up 5 seconds later, comes over to another chair. He's on 5 different chairs in a matter of 30 seconds. I'm like,
right.
What are you doing? So that was really funny. I love my dad. But I'm like, dude, you're making it worse for us.
Yeah.
And we go out. My brother wins TKO. I win TKO. So great night for all of us, man. It was just a really funny story.
That's awesome, man. I know that is so true. You know, like I said, I go to so many events. We're based here out of Florida. There's a lot of island fights and Titan FC based UFC Fight Pass stuff here in Florida. And sometimes it's fighters that we know, same kind of thing. They can bring 2 or 3 people with them. And sometimes I'm like, oh, they're going to bring this guy or this guy. And they don't. And they bring someone else. I'm like, why is that? He goes, oh, that guy's a nervous Nelly. He's going to get me going. And this guy is all like, you're going to win. You're going to knock him out. And he's so pumped. He's like one of those, you know, people that pump up the guys, you know what I mean? You need them. You need them in your corner.
You need it, you know? Yeah. And it was so I just told my dad, we agreed. I was like, hey, man, you can't come back here no more. I'm sorry, but it's just, you can't do it, man.
That's awesome, brother. Man, I'm so pumped. I love the time with it. I cannot wait. We're going to get this out today or tomorrow. And, the whole world hopefully learns stuff about Justin, the LFA Featherweight Championship of the world. We can't wait what's next. PFL, Bellator, UFC. Dude, the UFC is doing a ton of short notice fights, so you never know, man.
Yo, I'm ready, man. Look at my record. Look at the guys I fought, man. I'm ready for that call. I'm ready to take on the world, man. All I need is a shot. You know? If you're worried about me ruining someone's hype, it makes sense. But I deserve my shot, man. I deserve
100%, it. Dude. And no lie, no smoke just because I have you on. When I started checking you out, I'm like, how is this man not in the UFC already? Contender series win, LFA championship win. Some of the names that you beat even in Spartan, I was like, Bruno came from Brazil undefeated when he fought you. I was like, I don't get it. Something's not right here. So hopefully we can get this out. I know a couple people. I'm going to DM it to some guys, and hopefully we'll see you in the UFC very soon, my man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. Man, I love you guys, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Peace, man. We'll talk soon. All right, brother?
All right. Take it easy.
Later.